Key here with Soccer 605. I'm here with Robert Hoffman, the president of the Temple Soccer Club out of T, South Dakota. Thanks, Robert, for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Well, pretty big announcement this week.
Yes, we're very excited to announce that we purchased land for 22 acres for a soccer complex in T, South Dakota.
And you're going to end up with how many fields there?
Our goal is to have around 22 fields, various sizes for the various age groups. We're hoping to get 5 full-size fields, and we're hoping to put field turf down in all 22 fields.
Wow, that's astounding. And we were kind of talking about this yesterday about, even the origins of your club. You haven't even been around that long, since 2011.
Correct. We're about 25 months old, just over 2 years old. So we've been able to accomplish a lot in our first 2 years. Our numbers are growing, and the soccer complex is a great investment for our players and our fans and our families going forward.
One of the things that I thought was probably the most prevalent, what we're seeing there at your club, is you have kind of a can-do attitude. I mean, you wanted to get soccer going on down there. You wanted to be U.S. youth soccer. Because of some convoluted rules, that wasn't able to happen, but then you just jumped on U.S. club soccer.
Correct. We were able to find a national organization that allowed us to participate in tournaments, and associations around South Dakota embraced us and allowed us to participate in their tournaments. And a great event like today, we're up in Brookings for the Cubby futsal tournament, and so it really worked out well for us. The U.S. club did.
I'm seeing a lot of shirts with that Temple shield on them, and it looks like you got a pretty good size sponsor, because a lot of them say Sanford Health on it too.
Yes, we have our club teams. We have 2 major sponsors: Sanford Health Club, and then also Net Pestle Web Consulting is our other major sponsor for our jerseys.
So, we talked earlier about the prospect of that, and I was really impressed that you're going to try to get turf on, the whole complex there. When do you anticipate being able to play out there?
We've always been a very ambitious club, and our goal is to hopefully have, if we are able to use field turf, hopefully August 1st for the fall season. That's our stretch goal right now.
Have you named the complex yet?
Not yet. So.
Well, tell me how this thing come together, because I'll tell you what, when you start talking about that size of a piece of ground, where it is, just north of T, some pretty valuable land.
Yes.
You had to have some pretty major players involved in this whole thing.
When we started 2 years ago, we had a piece of land already that we were going to develop an 11-acre complex, and through zoning and county, that didn't work out. And this is actually our 7th piece of ground that we've sized and done our due diligence and pricing, and so it was a big effort. And we have some great benefactors within our association that made this happen, and were able to help us out and secure the 22 acres for us to go out and try to find and raise the money to build the complex on.
I have been looking all over the Midwest for a training ground that size that is owned and controlled by a private club, and I just can't find one.
In our limited 2 years, we've been to numerous events where they've been canceled, or games have been delayed, postponed, or the whole tournament's been called off because of it was a public held facility, and they're worried about what was going to happen to the facility. And that was one of our points early on. If we could have a private facility owned and controlled by the club, focusing on the best for our members versus what somebody else is telling us is the best for our members, was a huge selling point for it, we thought.
I've trained players around Sioux Falls for quite a few years now, and it always just seems to be a scramble for a patch of grass. And some days you get a pretty good sized patch of grass, and some days you don't. And all the coaches I've talked to in the Sioux Falls area have expressed the same kind of frustrations, and it looks to me like your coaches and your players are not going to have to deal with that anymore.
Yeah, we've had very humble beginnings from our our cow pasture that we've had for the last 2 years. Each August, we rub the grass off. We play on dirt in August, and September, and October. There's nothing left, so hopefully this will give our players a venue to be able to continue to hone their skills March through November, and especially if we were able to bring the field turf in, even 1 or 2 fields, that'll allow us to really train, 8-9 months out of the year.
Well, you've got one of the fastest growing organizations in the state, and you've been, pretty much focusing on competitive, it looks like, the last couple of years. Do you see an expansion into bringing on some recreational teams as well?
That will really be up to our board. Right now we have an academy program that starts at age 4 and goes through age 10, and then our club program starts at age 11. So we focus on 2 out of the 3 aspects, the academy and the competitive side of soccer, and left the recreational up to the local community programs. And, I think that'll be our direction going forward, but we are a board of 11 members, so, things can happen.
You never know when you get 11 different people together what's going to happen. Well, we sure look forward to seeing, what's going on there. Hopefully here in the next week or 2, we'll be able to make it up and actually get some pictures of the ground. You can kind of maybe give us an idea of the layout, but really exciting circumstances on both ends of the states now with the announcements of the big complexes.
Yes, and one of our goals with our complex is to be able to develop a league in around the state. We currently offer the Dakota Challenge, which is a tournament, and we'll be looking to expand the Dakota Challenge into a full league. We've already been in talks with some of the major clubs out of the Minneapolis area and Omaha and Des Moines area, along with Fargo and the Sioux City clubs. So we're hoping to develop a league with our complex, being the center point, and offering both maybe a C1 or C2 division and a C3, C4 division to allow the kids of South Dakota, the soccer players of South Dakota, to develop. And it doesn't matter what level they're at, and if they want to play competitive, hopefully we'll be able to offer a league in the next 1 to 2 years to allow them to meet their goals.
Well, fantastic. There's nothing better than trying to use a central location like you're going to have there between the Minneapolis, Omaha, North Dakota teams. So it's kind of a logical spot, isn't it?
Yes. So we'll see where that goes. So it's in the early stages. So.
One last thing before I let you go. I know you got to go coach a game here, but you do have an indoor tournament coming up pretty quick.
Yes.
Your club does, and why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So we'll be having our first annual net pistol futsal shootout, and that is the weekend of March 21st, and that'll be in T, South Dakota, and we'll have up to 6 courts going, so we can host about 80 teams. So we're looking forward to having a lot of fun.
And they can find out how to register right on your website.
Correct, and that is templesoccerclub.org.
All right. Well, Robert, thanks very much, not only for the few minutes to do an interview. We've been trying to get together with you for quite a while, but, I can't say enough from our perspective how much your organization keeps impressing us by what you're not talking about but actually accomplishing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.